I just realized that you're totally gonna be able to see these pictures behind me. Those are my nieces. But if you haven't noticed, there's a slight change of scenery here. So in case you're wondering what the change of scenery is, I'm down at my parents' visiting for a little bit. This week I wanted to do something a little different. Some people have been asking about what games I will be going to this season or what games I'm looking forward to the most. And since I didn't want to talk about Jimmy Vesey, I figured this would be a great time for this. And we're running out of time before the season starts. Now I'm doing these in order of when you would see them throughout the season. And really the best part is that I feel like all of these games would still be good to go to even if one of the team's seasons is not going so well. It's like a horrible season-proof list in my mind. But that's because it's not just about the team, it's also about the fans, the city, and its culture. And I have left out all of the outdoor games. I feel like those go unsaid. And honestly, if I included them, it would pretty much be the whole list at this point. First up on the list is a kind of obvious one. It's the Pittsburgh Penguins versus Washington Capitals on October 13th. Why? For starters, the Pens will be raising their Stanley Cup banner. And to make it even more interesting, they will be doing so while a team who they eliminated in the playoffs watches. A team whose season was cup or bust. That's gotta sting a little bit. It's kind of interesting that the NHL would start the season off for the Capitals that way, but it is a matchup between two great teams in a city that is going to be buzzing and filled with passionate hockey fans. Really just a fun way to kick off the season. Next up would be St. Louis versus Chicago in St. Louis on November 19th. While I do think the game in Chicago on October 12th may be more interesting storyline-wise. You know, the first time the teams are meeting since the Blues eliminated the Hawks in the first round, it ended the Hawks' hopes of back-to-back Stanley Cups. I have already been to Chicago. Even though I do love Chicago, it's really a great city, I'm really eager to get to St. Louis and see a game there. They are passionate about their team and I really want to experience that firsthand. And we also saw how the playoff structure works out for these division rivals, and even though it is still early in the season, these games between playoff contending division rivals mean more than ever. So it should be a very intense and hard-fought game, and for someone looking to get to St. Louis like me, this could be a great addition to your trip. And now we're into the new year. New year means new city, and I'm looking at you, Smashville. Almost everyone I meet talks about what a crazy fun city Nashville is, and I've heard so many times how I really need to get there and see a game. So I thought the most fitting game for me this season would be Nashville versus Montreal on January 13th in Nashville. The most obvious reason is the big trade between Subban and Weber, and by this time we'll have a little bit of an understanding of the short-term implications of the trade. But the not so obvious reason for me wanting to go to this game is just really getting a chance to experience the culture of Nashville. I'm not typically a country music fan, but I have a feeling the city may be able to convince me when I'm there. Number 4 on my list is Tampa Bay Lightning versus the Anaheim Ducks in Tampa on February 4th. When you live in the Northeast or any other area with rough winters, you're pretty sick of winter at this point. You're tired of the snow, adding 20 minutes to your morning commute so you can scrape the ice off of your car, wearing 5 layers of clothing, and all that shoveling. And Tampa presents a nice little getaway, a nice little break from that. And Tampa has shown that they love hockey, they are a hockey city, so it would just be nice to be around some like-minded fans, enjoy a game, and some nice weather, and a beach. Yeah. And my final stop is another obvious one, but I feel like this list would just not be complete without it. It is the Detroit Red Wings versus New Jersey Devils on April 9th. The last game at the Joe. I am sure there will be a lot of talk about this game leading up to it. There's a whole lot of history here. And I know, it is just an arena. But for many, it is the only one they know. They grew up going to games there, and anyone who has been a longtime fan of any team knows that those places can feel like a home away from home. Even if it is paving the way for something new and possibly better, it can still be hard to say goodbye because you're not just saying goodbye to all of that team history, but to all of the memories that every fan has there. This game will be something special, and it may just be one last chance to celebrate at the Joe. I wanted to also throw out some honorable mentions here. First, on October 7th, it's a preseason game. the Kings versus the Stars, and normally a preseason game wouldn't get put on this type of list, but it will be the first time we see hockey in the new Vegas arena. We will most certainly be hearing a lot of chatter before and after this one about the stadium and just how it feels during a game. So it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out. And finally, the Jets versus the Maple Leafs on October 19th. These teams both received franchise players in this year's draft. And while both organizations and their fans are excited to see them on the ice, it will be a lot of fun watching them go head to head for the first time in the NHL. So there it is, a list of the games that I am looking forward to or hoping to get to this season. Let me know what you think. Let me know what games you want to go to and what games you are looking forward to the most this season. I'm sure I missed a lot. There's a lot of great ones out there, so be sure to let me know in the comments below. But until next time, guys.